Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Marlena Frank and I'm a YA fantasy and horror author. Today I'm continuing with the Scrivener tutorial series where I talk about tips and tricks for using Scrivener to write books. I'm not sponsored for any of these videos, I just really like the software as an author. I've used it for years and I want to put my 10 plus years of IT experience to good use for other writers. Today, we'll talk about moving books, moving sections, and using templates. So let's dive in, shall we? So I've opened up the sample Scrivener file we created last time. When we left off, we had created the bare bones of a Scrivener project. I'm going to go through and flesh out some content here to make this more realistic. So I'm going to call this Chapter 1, Scene 1, Scene 2. Let's say you have another book in this project too. Let me go ahead and fill this one out as well. You'll notice that these aren't nested originally, so we need to drag and drop these inside of Book 2. Now that we have 2 books populated, we can look at organizing them in this sample. You'll notice here that Book 2 is a category of manuscript, which is where Book 1 is located. So we need to organize them into their own separate books. First, we need to create a folder for inactive books. We'll call it Inactive Books. Next, we move it into its own folder area. You see we can put it outside of the manuscript folder. Let's say, for this example, we want to make Book 2 an active book and make Book 1 the inactive book. Click on Manuscript and make a new folder called Book 1. Then we can drag the parts of manuscript down into Book 1. Now we simply drag Book 1 to Inactive Books. Now your manuscript folder is where your current active book is located. So you might be asking, why is this useful? Why do I need to have separate locations for active and inactive books? Well, other than keeping your data organized, or your series organized, it also helps Scrivener to track word count. By default, it doesn't keep track of word count changes in your characters folder or research folders, but it does keep track of your word count inside of your manuscript folder. If you go to Project Targets, or just type Control, you can see the Project Targets panel. This lets you set manuscript targets and session targets, which is a big motivator if you're writing on a deadline, like during NaNoWriMo. So let's say that your manuscript target is around 80,000 words, and your session target is an ambitious 10,000 words because you just finished off the coffee and your deadline is coming up fast. These bars change depending on what percentage of your goal you've completed. Now, your session target will reset whenever you close out your Scrivener project. Your manuscript target, though, is persistent and will remain as whatever you set it last between your sessions. I also wanted to mention templates. Under your template sheets, you have Character Sketch and Setting Sketch. These are part of the Novel with Parts template we originally chose for this Scrivener project. These are one of the features I love using as a novel writer. Let's say we want to create a character based off one of the character sketches. So there are several ways to do this. Let's right-click on Characters, choose Add, and then choose New from Template. Then the options pull from your template sheets down there. So let's create John Doe. You'll notice that the character sketch file doesn't change at all. It stays the same. So let's say under Places you create a location based off of the Settings sketch. So right-click, go to Add, New from Template, Settings sketch. We'll call this Gazebo because I like gazebos. Again, this doesn't change your settings sketch at all. Let's say that you want to change a category on the template though. Let's say you're writing a book about werewolves. One of the things you can add is perhaps a werewolf tribe that they're part of. The best way to do that is to copy that line and paste it in. So let's call this a werewolf tribe. We're going to say Jane Doe is part of the werewolf tribe. We'll do it differently this time. Click the green plus button at the top, choose New from Template, and then Character Sketch. Then we have Jane Doe. And we see, yes, she does have a werewolf tribe category. I always like to add a little character quote for their personality too. Now, one of the things that's nice about Scrivener is it autosaves. When you see the asterisk in the top left corner, that means it hasn't saved yet, and when that disappears, it's saved. You see this a lot in programming editors. So let's look at another way to add scenes besides our normal method. If you're a big outliner, then the corkboard may be one of the most fantastic parts of Scrivener. To reach the corkboard, click on any folder in your book. You'll notice there are several views here. The middle icon gives you the corkboard. The left icon gives you a single document where all of the subparts can be read through as a single piece. It will put together your full book too. Just expect there to be some delay as it formats it. The right icon gives you more of an outline view. On the corkboard, you can just right-click to add a new scene. Then you can double-click on any card to add a summary. Note that you're not filling in the scene, just adding notes about the scene. Then you can move this around anywhere on the corkboard. In the bottom right, you have corkboard options. You can choose the card ratio, the size, and even how many cards are across. So if you like really long descriptions like me, you can do that. Alright, I think that's everything for this tutorial. Next time we'll look at the features of the editor panel and split screen editing. I'll also talk about deleting files and making backups within Scrivener. If you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe. I post new videos every Friday. If you have a question about a Scrivener feature you're curious about, let me know and I'll try to add it to my series. Again, that Scrivener Tutorials playlist is available on my channel. My debut novel seen here, Stolen, is book 1 of the Stolen series and is available now in paperback and ebook. As of today, it's also in hardback. I honestly never thought I would ever get my name on a hardback book, you guys. I seriously can't wait to see them. You can pick up your copy at Barnes & Noble right now, but it's coming to other online stores soon. If you follow my Appearances 2019 page on my blog, Marlena Frank Author, I will be bringing hardback copies to a few of the events. Not too many though, so if you want a signed hardback copy, try to make it out. And you know, I have to give a big shout out to Parliament House for this image of Stolen, because y'all know I could not take photos like this if I tried. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see y'all next week. Happy writing!